What happens in Halo Infinite? What's the story, what's the plot, and what's the ending? Well, you're in the right spot, guys, because I got a lot of predictions and theories. As always, put on your tinfoil hats. We're going to be talking about how Halo Infinite begins, what's the middle of the story, what are the conflicts, what are the enemies, what happens in the game, why is Master Chief wearing a cloak, how are the Flood unleashed on Zeta Halo, a new Gravemind, Cortana's new armada, Master Chief's new AI, how all the created AI are screwed over in the end and may actually win in one theory, and plenty more other theories. Guys, this is going to be an epic one. Let's get into it. Today's video is sponsored by Audible. Get a free Halo audiobook right now, audibletrial.com/HaloFollower, link down below. So to make any theory accurate or speculation even in the ballpark of what may actually happen, we have to first remind ourselves what the character's motives and values actually are. And when we properly understand that, the character's motivations, we can look at past actions, examine that, and thus predict future ones and what the story may be like in Halo Infinite. So today I will be discussing 3 major predictions for Halo Infinite's story based on the actual lore in the books, what we've seen in the games, and much more. We'll focus on Chief and Cortana's motives today, then we're going to catch up with the lore outside of the games after Halo 5, but before Halo Infinite, and then we're going to be talking lastly about all the 3 different theories I have. With Master Chief first, I think his motives are clear. He vowed to protect Earth and all of her colonies, and that's the one that he's lived by, and the one that we've seen him take action on his entire life. Although Halo 5 seemed to make things unclear for Master Chief's motives in a few different ways. From the get-go, Master Chief's motives up to Halo 4 was to protect humanity at all costs. I think this has been expressed 1,000 times over, but mostly when Master Chief set off the nuke to save Earth from further being composed. He basically sacrificed his life without knowing that he would shortly, right after, be saved by Cortana. In Halo 5, Chief's motives seemed to shift to saving Cortana, but that's what we were led to believe during the marketing campaign, as he dashed by civilians in life-threatening danger. Anywho, I think Cortana served a dual purpose in Halo 5. Chief knew Cortana was killing thousands of people by rising the Guardians, but he was smart enough to not attack the Guardians themselves, but rather go to the source to convince Cortana out of it, to save her, but also to save humanity. Besides, I don't think an AI such as Cortana, that he's only known, besides Cryo, for about 6 months, would abandon all of his convictions for her. But let's get real. Yes, Master Chief is a warrior, he's saved humanity countless times, he's a badass, alright. But what is his real motivation, his emotional purpose? Well, after much research, it became glaringly obvious, I think, personally, that Master Chief's most important value is having a family. Not with Cortana or some Spartan chick. I mean deep, close friends. So close it's like a family. I mean, hell, Blue Team is even regarded in Halo 5 as the only family Chief's ever had. Think about it, as soon as Cortana supposedly died at the end of Halo 4, Blue Team showed up. He never had a biological family past the age of 6 because he was kidnapped. In Fall of Reach animation, it really shows how much he cares and his deep, heartfelt grief when his teammates like Sam dies in combat. It's his family, and I think that's what he values the most. Now for Cortana. I believe her motivation is the one that she was created for, to protect humanity, the universe, yada yada. We know that. But what is her emotional motivation? Well, I think, as I discussed before, her best friend to be safe. Some would speculate her would-be lover, Master Chief, is her deep emotional purpose. Forget about whether they're just friends or would-be lovers, but Cortana, after 4, was transferred into the domain and came to a newfound purpose, now cured of her rampancy. Her motive is to bring peace amongst the galaxy and destroy those who fight back. Why? Why is she so hell-bent on doing this? Well, I think that this serves, again, a dual purpose. If the whole galaxy is safe and there's no more war, then Master Chief would be safe. And I think simply Cortana wants her Spartan to be safe. I mean, she spent the entire campaign of Halo 5 manipulating John to come to her so she could trap and keep him safe. I think this says a lot. She could have caused a lot more destruction and brought peace amongst the galaxy before he got there, but she waited. She wanted him to be safe. I think the whole mantle of responsibility thing is actually an unconscious, indirect way to protect John. I mean, after all, he's a warrior, and if there's no more war, then he's gonna be pretty safe. So I think ultimately her emotional motivation is John, and for him to be safe and her bond with him. I mean, just hear her shriek when she has John separated from her at the end of Halo 5.
No! Stop it!
You took my installation. I will take something of yours.
So now, before we get into the theory, let's quickly recap what we know that is absolutely confirmed that happens after Halo 5 Guardians ending. Straight after Halo 5, Blue Team and Fireteam Osiris meet up on Synchelios, while hundreds of AI are being compromised, and many colonies have been EMP'd, almost all of them. Buck and Dare travel to the Grunts' homeworld, Balaho, which they discovered that the Grunts have surrendered and are living off the benefits of the Prometheans and Guardians' support. Halo Wars 2 events happen, then the Flood escapes High Charity onto the Ark. Meanwhile, the Infinity, with Blue Team and Fireteam Osiris and perhaps many other Spartans, have been searching for ways to fight back against Cortana and also doing rescue missions picking up important individuals around the galaxy. And they constantly look for more information and something to defeat the Guardians in the Created. The Halo Infinite story was hinted at beginning May 27th, 2560 in the teaser, about a year and a half after Halo 5's ending. That's all confirmed. Prediction number 1. This is the realistic theory. This theory, I would say, is the most realistic to happen, at least a few elements in the story. So, Cortana, still holder of the mantle of responsibility with hundreds of AI backing her, has pretty much wiped out and dominated most of the galaxy. She will have already conquered Earth and most, if not all, colonies with a policing guardian from all of the different species in the galaxy, some we may not even have heard of at this point, as well as thousands upon thousands of Prometheans to act as enforcers on the ground, even up in space, for Cortana's rule in peace and order. And for the most part, it's worked. Although there's been a lot of rebels, there's been a lot of people fighting back, and Cortana has very little tolerance for those people. Humanity has been in dismay, and although the Synchelian humanity may not have officially given up, they have overall been stuck in a chokehold, with a few rebel factions fighting back. This is greatly demoralizing to most of humanity and the populations. Just because they fought a 30-year-long war with the Covenant for their freedom, they just won, and a few years later, Cortana's here and she has taken over everything. But at least Cortana, unlike the Covenant, isn't actively killing and committing genocide to thousands of people for no reason. Well, at least at first. It's been a manhunt for key individuals with Cortana, such as Dr. Halsey, Agent Locke, ONI operatives and commanders and top individuals, UNSC commanders and generals, Covenant leaders, and anyone that has ever been deemed a warmonger. Anyone that has ever helped in a war will be potentially a target for Cortana's vengeance and purpose in bringing peace to the galaxy to forever eradicate war. Obviously, Blue Team wouldn't fit this bill, but they would be hunted for different reasons. While Cortana has Foreigner ships filled with Prometheans like the Guardians search for Chief, the Infinity, like Halo 1, they will stumble upon Installation 07 or meets up with UNSC forces. With Halo Wars 2 ending, it's confirmed that Cortana has some control of the Halo rings, as we see a Guardian stop a ring in mid-slip space, but the rings probably need to be activated or enter slip space for her to become aware of it, or at least acknowledge it. Either way, Cortana probably knows about Zeta Halo. The Infinity, upon coming in contact with this ring, is pulled in and has to do an emergency crash, much like what we saw in Requiem in Halo 4. Master Chief is trapped on Zeta Halo, and his mission? to save the Infinity crew and get the hell off the ring. Although his real concern is defeating Cortana, he's hopeful that he can pull her AI matrix out of the domain without killing her, and there's something on the ring that would allow him to do this. After communicating to her telepathically for a while, after dealing with Cortana's Prometheans and a flood accidentally being released by Cortana, begin to pose a major threat to the Infinity that is crashed and all life on the ring. A few plot twists and epic cutscenes later, Master Chief manages to flip the tables on Cortana with his luck. Master Chief, about to destroy the domain and kill Cortana for good, reluctantly, knowing that it's his only choice that he has to save millions of lives, she starts crying and comes back to normal. But it was nothing more than a ploy of manipulation to kill Chief. Cortana now has been fully manipulated by the logic plague, and the galaxy is now ready to collapse entirely with all the defenses shut down, and is fully ready for all life to become infected. All a part of the Gravemind plan. The Foreigner ships, the militias, all of it have been all a part of the Gravemind's ultimate plan to bring Judgment Day for all creatures and civilizations in the entire galaxy. Once again, as it was once for the Foreigners. The ending would be very emotional and impactful, like Halo 4's ending with Cortana slowly dying, at least we thought at the time. I think that if they did a 180 and instead of an emotional ending like this, it was rather a betrayal of Cortana completely affected by the logic plague, killing Master Chief, at least we think so until Halo 7, I think that would be a very cool 180. Cliffhanger to be continued in Halo 7. So here's my second prediction for Halo Infinite. So at the end of Halo Wars 2, Anders is stopped by a Guardian on Installation 09, but promises to return to the Ark. Anxious to leave, deciding to not wait any longer, the Spirit of Fire sets out to reconnect with UNSC forces to catch up with modern day since they've been gone for 30 years, and find Anders themselves and rescue her. However, instead of 09, they find Zeta Halo instead. Meanwhile, somewhere in space, the Infinity is slip-spacing around finding recruits, and Master Chief leaves the Infinity in a Pelican with Blue Team with a new UNSC AI that refused to join Cortana's created when she first gave the offer to all the AI. And Blue Team is sent to investigate another Foreigner installation. This time it would be Zeta Halo. The potential of finding something to defeat Cortana here is very high. Cortana is also now aware of the flood threat. God forbid have the void portal reactivated to slip space to Earth directly. So Cortana figures firing the Halo rings is the only way to defeat the flood, and since the Guardians are absolutely useless against them, Cortana sets a widespread manhunt with Prometheans, Guardians, and a militia that actually resembles the Covenant, but instead of the Covenant and prophets, is actually under the service of the Created, a large army organized under the banner of Cortana and the Created, using the best ships ever seen in the galaxy. We're talking Foreigner starships filled with Senkili, Angoi, even rebel humans, all hunting down Master Chief in the Infinity. Why? So she can keep Master Chief safe in a Krypton ball while she fires the rings and eliminates the galaxy of the flood entirely, once and for all. So why this hunt begins to happen, she discovers them on Zeta Halo. Blue Team stumbles upon the history of Zeta Halo, and Created search parties begin to investigate the ring, suspicious that Blue Team is present here. Suddenly, the Spartans detect a new ship in the atmosphere, thinking that it's the Infinity, but no, another UNSC ship, one they haven't seen since the Human Covenant War days. A ship once thought to be lost many years ago. The Spirit of Fire comes into orbit on Zeta Halo. Ground teams and Pelicans are sent down, but are shot down by Foreigner weapons that the militias serving Cortana have. Master Chief continues to get visions and communicates with Cortana, as like in Halo 3 and 5. There is an ongoing dialogue of Master Chief trying to communicate and tell Cortana what she is doing is wrong. Blue Team encounters ancient humans and are led to living Foreigners. Master Chief realizes that with his many gifts given to him by the Librarian, he is capable of going within the domain, just as he did in Halo 5. telepathically, or however that works, John is able to somehow overthrow or talk Cortana completely out of it. After all, it was humanity's purpose to take the mantle, not the AI. The Spirit of Fire engages the Guardians, but Master Chief, in the domain, ends the Guardian threat. The Flood overtake the ring, killing the militia, an X-created army. Master Chief is forced to destroy the ring, just like Halo 1, and everyone gets the hell out of Dodge. Not the prettiest ending, but that's what I got to wrap that one up. Now to our third theory, and in my opinion, what is the most exciting one. I would love for some of these ideas to come to fruition. Let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. The Infinity is slip-spacing around while the galaxy is still in dismay. Cortana has guardians on every colony, and pretty much everyone has been policed by Prometheans, with some rebel factions out there. So the Infinity is slip-spacing around, avoiding Cortana while searching for recruits and rebels to fight against the created, individuals that are key people that could have some kind of help to fight and defeat the Cortana and her guardians. The story opens up with Blue Team overrun by Prometheans on a mission on a colony while searching for a secret UNSC distress signal for UNSC Infinity to pick them up. They just narrowly escape. The Guardian arrives at the colony, EMPs, but they just get away in time right before they're shut down. One of the rescued have very vital information about a new weapon, perhaps a new ring, Zeta Halo. Believing this place, this location and ring contains what is needed to stop Cortana, they slip space to the coordinates and find Zeta Halo. Cortana is still unaware of this ring and does not send forces, not yet. While in orbit, the Infinity sends down the team of Spartans, and Blue Team investigates the ring, but they end up inside the installation and find the Flood's containment and are attacked by the Flood, who broke free a long time before. On accident, Blue Team hits a wrong switch, alerting Cortana someone is on Zeta Halo. Someone flipped a switch. The Infinity has been found, finally. Without warning, several Guardians immediately slip space in at Zeta Halo and shut down the Infinity. The Infinity drifts through orbit and crash lands on the ring, with some Pelicans having to crash land on Halo, given the Marines that we saw on the ring. While fending off the Flood, Cortana begins talking to Chief telepathically, much like in Halo 3 or Halo 5. He refuses to surrender. They run into a monitor alerted by the Flood's breach, and the monitor panics. After talking for a while, the monitor realizes that he must tell Master Chief how to stop Cortana, even though it goes against everything the foreigners are about, and their will. Now before he tells him what it is, it's pretty obvious at this point that Master Chief was sent to Requiem on purpose. The portal that cut Chief off from the Arbiter in Halo 3 was no mistake or coincidence. Master Chief was meant to be sent with the Forward Unto Dawn to Requiem, where the Ur-Dynamic would ultimately be awoken and lead to the beginning of the Reclamation conflict, and that could all be due to Mendicant, which had fragments which was already trying to speak to him on the Ark through the terminals that we see in Halo 3. The monitor admits that there is a powerful ancient foreigner AI that had been torn apart, Mendicant, and spread throughout several locations, and one of the fragments being on Zeta Halo. Getting the help of a monitor, Master Chief travels across the ring, now wearing a cloak, to hide away from Cortana, who now has subdued the Infinity and any other UNSC ships in space, and now on the surface of the ring. The Guardians now have surrounded the ring with thousands of Prometheans and militia created forces searching for Chief and taking over the crashed Infinity. Forced to hide himself and blend in, Chief finds some ancient human clothing and makes a cloak, and travels to a remote desert part of the ring, and with the help by a monitor, awakens Mendicant Bias 100,000 years from a long slumber tomb. Now the advanced AI, whom was once responsible for turning against the foreigners due to the logic plague, the Gravemind's manipulation, is now more than ever prepared to assist Master Chief and make up for his regrets on betraying his masters, and also help with the Flood threat now on the Ark and spreading throughout the galaxy and on Zeta Halo, since there really is no one else in the galaxy that knows as much about the Flood than the Gravemind himself. He may even know of a cure. They agree to transfer Mendicant's consciousness into an AI Matrix chip that he had brought with him, perhaps an old Cortana chip. Now with the ancient Celia, Blue Team carries out missions on Zeta Halo. Mendicant decides to fight fire with fire, and rises the deadliest war machines and warships that are perhaps even older than the domain that aren't connected there. As time goes on, along with the other AI, they begin to glitch and get worse, and the logic plague begins to really show. A part of Cortana realizes that she has been working for the Gravemind this entire time, unconsciously. Her unconscious motives, such as taking down all weaponry and defenses, has left the entire galaxy and all of her colonies to be taken over in a mere few weeks. Meanwhile, the Flood feed upon wildlife and militia on the ring and build upon the already established proto-graveminds that were previously kept in storage within the ring, and a new gravemind quickly rises to power. Now back, the mind of the Flood further affects Cortana. Now a puppet, the created, and all the AI may be affected by the logic plague, and Mendicant Bias along with Blue Team enter an epic space or land battle. But Master Chief quickly realizes the easiest way to win is to simply, as before, destroy the Halo Array. And after much strife, Master Chief recovers good Cortana, who has perhaps awoken out of her logic plague, and the Infinity manages to escape, and they destroy the ring, killing the Flood's revival, killing the Gravemind, and all the Guardians' control with it. And perhaps the domain, too, is destroyed. Alternately, the ending could be that Master Chief goes into the domain as the rightful holder, as the rightful commander, if you will, of the domain, kick Cortana out, and control the Guardians and all the foreigner weapons and ships, and destroy the Flood with them. So there you have it, my 3 predictions about Halo Infinite's story and plot and endings. Sure, they could have been written a little bit better, but I thought I'd just quickly get some ideas out about the story's direction, and especially that juicy ending about some things that I see to be both feasible and exciting and cool for Halo fans to look forward to. So yeah, if you have any theories of your own, I want to hear it. Maybe you have a mix of some of these, maybe they inspired some completely new ideas that you may have for the story. I want to hear it. Please let me know down in the comment section below. And guys, before you leave, be sure to check out that free Audible book down below. Get a Halo book, guys. It's free, alright? They talk to you. You don't have to read. It's an audiobook, alright? Alright, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Subscribe if you want more videos, and peace.